What's happening, people? Welcome to the player ratings from the Manchester United versus Luton Town 3-0 game. I'm here with Cam. It's just me and Cam tonight. It's a late night one. Do you know what? Some people not feeling it, Cam. You're in it for the long haul, man. You got stamina.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm young, so why not? So
I didn't hear you there. Are you there? You there?
Yeah. I said I'm young, so I can do it. So why not? You know,
100%. It's I make it 10 to 12, mate, or something like that. Is it 10 to 12? Yeah, pretty much 10 to 12. So, bit of a shorter player ratings today, but quick, sharp, short. You know, not too much to go in on really in an average performance against Luton up until the end, until we sealed it. So let's get straight into it, Cam. You can go first. Guest, first player ratings and that. Dean Henderson, what are you saying?
I'll give him a 7. He got a clean sheet, made a brilliant save. Very happy with it. I think, good performance from him. You can't really expect too much more. You can only say what's put in front of you, and he did that. So, yeah, pretty good. How about you? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah, I'd say a 7 because you know what, that save was so vital, especially at that point. You're getting into the 80th minute, which is the territory of okay, if you haven't killed the game, just keep the ball and don't concede, and we'll just get out of here unscathed. But we conceded a big chance, and when it left his head, I was worried. To be fair, and a great save. That was actually like a David De Gea-esque save, and he impressed me because to not be involved for so long, it's different to being at Sheffield United. This is what I mean. At Sheffield United, you're in action all the time. You're making save after save. But when you come to a club like Man United, and yes, it's Luton, but even games in the Premier League can be like that, where you're not called upon for ages, but do you have the focus to pull out a big save? And he did. So I agree with a 7, yeah. I don't mind that at all. Right back, Wan-Bissaka.
You know what? I don't think he did too much exceptional, but he didn't do too much wrong either. I mean, I think going forward, he wasn't brilliant. He didn't offer too much. He had a couple of moments that were nice, but overall, I don't think he did masses. I think there were points where Mata especially probably could have played him in a little bit more, but for some reason chose not to give it to him. Maybe it was just a spur of the moment thing. Maybe they're thinking sometimes Wan-Bissaka's not the best going forward. Maybe he's not sharp yet, but yeah, he did okay. Nothing special. I mean, I expect him to start at the weekend, but yeah, 6 for me.
Yeah, I think a 6 is fair. 6 is fair. He didn't overly light it up. It was like his one looked like a quite workman-like performance, like his first appearance of the season. Wanted to get the 90 minutes under his belt, ready to go again on Saturday, and he just kind of kept it simple, really. He went on a couple of gallops, tried to get a few crosses in, but didn't really have the massive link-up play as Mata spent much of his time not on the right-hand side, almost like it was just a free roam. You know what Mata does? He's so clever. He'll go wandering off. He's not going to play as a winger and link up with any right-back, is he? So, I'd say a 6. I think that's about fair, and obviously he should keep his place because we need him back for the Brighton game. At least he finished unscathed. Next to him was Eric Bailly.
Yeah, I was quite happy with Eric Bailly's performance overall. I think I'll give him a 7, same as Dean Henderson. I think the first half, I think he wasn't maybe as assured as you want in possession. He didn't look like with some of his passes that had the conviction you want. I think into the game, though, he started to bring the ball out more in the second half. Went on a few runs towards the opposition box. And there were a couple of times where he showed exactly why he's in the team. Great recovery pace. Made a couple of good challenges. I think it was him who made a great clearance off the line as well. So I think overall, an encouraging performance. He looked like he needed a bit of sharpness. He needed 90 minutes. He certainly needed the game time. And so it's a good thing for him that he's got it. Hopefully he can stay fit now. I mean, from Bailly.
Yeah, 7 there. Before I touch on that, I mean, a lot of people in fan camps today saying, Flex, just start him instead of Lindelof. Just play him with Maguire. You can see the recovery pace. You can see what Lindelof. Would you start him? Would you try and maybe sort of partnership with Maguire and Bailly? And just, I know he's got his injury problems, but just give him a run of games and see.
You know what? I think it's worth giving it a go at this point. I think Rick the Sunday night show, maybe Adam, the Swedish coach said Lindelof looks knackered, and that's fair enough. He's played pretty much every game for a very long time. He needs a rest, and if he needs a rest, it's not like we don't have Bailly fit at the moment. He is fit. It's a very good option. Why not give him a run? Give Lindelof a break, because if you give Lindelof a break, give Bailly a run. If it doesn't work out for Bailly, then you have a rested Lindelof who can play much better than he did last weekend. So yeah, of course, it'd be pretty silly not to start Bailly unless they're concerned about overloading him and him getting injured again.
Yeah. Can you see me all right and hear me? Because you're a little bit laggy tonight. I don't know if...
I can hear you all right. You lagged a minute ago on the previous thing. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you're a little bit laggy now. I don't know if you're on the same Wi-Fi you was on before, but yeah, I don't know. It's moving a little bit mad.
Yeah, I should be.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, on Bailly, I'd give him a 7 as well. Though I'd definitely give him a 7. I think it's time that we just try a new partnership out of what we've got until we get a centre half, until we know we're going to get one or whatever. Which doesn't. It's very quiet on that front right now. Just play Bailly. Just play him until he gets injured, because he will get injured. Just if it's 7 games on the trot, then great. If it's 10, if it's 5, but just give him the opportunity to try and do it, because I just think Lindelof keeps showing why we've got problems in that area with Maguire. So yeah, I agree with a 7. I'll go with Maguire. I'm going to give Maguire a 6. I think he was gave the ball away a couple of times, got exposed by pace a couple of times, but by and large, nipped in front of his man, took it off him, won it in the air, went forward quite a bit because he had loads of time and space. Really, for someone like Maguire, really easy game. No pressure really on him, apart from a couple of situations. And I think it's just a steady, basic performance. I'm going to go for 6. What are you going with?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's he didn't do anything spectacular. Well, out of defence a couple of times. What I would like to see, though, more threat from set pieces. I mean, he's a centre, our most dominant one when Lindelof plays, especially. He should be getting more efforts on target and more actual goal-bound shots. He should be getting more power behind him. He should be scoring more goals from set pieces for us.
Yeah, I agree. Cam, what I'm going to ask you to do is, while I do the next player, just come out the stream and come straight back on the stream with the same link, yeah?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, just literally jump out and jump back in again, see if your connection kind of sorts itself out, because I don't know what's doing this. Next player I'm going to go with, guys, obviously left back, which was Brandon Williams, just while Cam comes back. Brandon Williams, I'm going to give... I suppose, look, there was deficiency in his games, which I spoke about in my match reaction. But to be fair, he won the penalty, which was, after a poor first half from us in general. At least he won that. So I'll give him a 6. But I just think he's got a lot to work on. I think he's so naturally, he is right-footed, and it just doesn't always work for me. He wants to keep coming in on that right-hand side, on that right foot, and he's not a natural left-sided player. He just wants to keep coming in. So for me, I'd give Brandon Williams a 6. I've got Cam back. You there, Cam?
Any better?
Yeah, I think so. So far, it's okay. We'll see how it goes. Brandon Williams, I said I'd give him a 6. What would you give him?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, as you said, I caught the end of what you're saying there. I mean, he cuts back in on his right foot a little bit too much, but that's sometimes what you get with a right-footed left back. I think, to an extent, he could use a bit more help from whoever's on his side. Obviously, Lingard was playing a lot further infield than Williams. So sometimes he didn't have the passing options. Obviously, he won the penalty, had a couple of times when he got into the box, actually looked like he was trying to get on the end of a chance and maybe score a goal for himself, which was nice to see from a left back. But yeah, nothing special again from Williams. Decent performance, but yeah, nothing to write home about, really.
Yeah, I think a 6. And into midfield now, that's why I think it is interesting, because, I sort of said in my match reaction, I was almost like, well, not almost, I said Solskjaer midfield dilemma. Because I think Matic has to play. I mean, we'll judge Matic now. What would you give him?
I give him a 7 probably. I think he was good. He was assured in front of the defence, helped them out. But again, it's just, I think, more than necessarily his movement ability and that sort of stuff. Because obviously he's got older now. He's not as quick as he was. Maybe not as able to get around the pitch as he used to be. But it's the experience. He's the one who's in that team controlling how many players go forward, how many players sit back. It's the leadership he gives from that role. He's constantly talking to other players, and you can tell when he's there, everyone else seems much more assured and much more stable defensively. It gives us a better platform. And yeah, he's one-footed. He may not be the best passer of the ball. He's not the quickest, but it's that mental side that, for so many of the top CDMs in the world, you see so many of them, the likes of Sergio Busquets, they start to become really good when they're most experienced. There's very few top-class CDMs that are young, because they need to learn the game. They need to learn what they're doing. And as they get older, get more experienced, more assured in their role, they can start talking the other players through the game. And you can see with the likes of Matic, Sergio Busquets, players like that, They're using their experience, guiding the players around them. And even though, yeah, as I said, they may not be the quickest anymore, may not be able to get about like they used to, but it's that leadership, that experience, stuff that comes from his head that's far more important than anything else. And when he's not playing, we don't have another player that can do that yet.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think I was saying to Ricky. I mean, Ricky's love affair with Matic is something of beauty. To be fair, it's amazing, but it's not on false pretense. It's not on a lack of evidence. And I think slowly everyone has come around to understanding how important Matic is for us, especially with the arrival of Van Der Beek, with the arrival of Bruno, and these offensive players in that area. Because you're right, you just need someone who's going to screen that back four. You need someone who's going to make the quick and easy, simple decisions. And he does just bring a bit of just woosah. He just brings calmness to there. You know, when it's chaotic and there's a loose ball and it's bouncing around a little bit, he'll just stick a foot on it and just pass it to the left back, or put a foot on it, punch it into another midfielder, and it just calms everything down. And I know it's against Luton, but we've seen it in the big games. We know what Matic does, and I think he has to start in our team. He has to. I would give him a 7 as well for exactly the same reasons you would. Who else started? Would you give Fred? What would you give Fred?
I think I'd give him a 6. I didn't do anything spectacular on the ball, but I did like his work rate. It was nice to see. He got up and down the pitch alongside Matic. You know he's going to say you can get more and try and help the attack. Yeah, he made in the full, but he got a few body in those areas. Just something else for the defence to think about. So in that sense, it's good. He ran around a lot, which is what you get from Fred. So yeah, decent performance. Again, nothing special.
Yeah, I'd say that as well. I'd say a 6 is fair. Could have got maybe a 7 because he was about the pace, but I think that's a bit too high. I think a 6. I mean, equally, if Matic doesn't start, then okay, potentially Fred against Brighton. That's fine as long as it isn't McTominay. I think he proved that he's. I just don't think he's ready to play that role. Yeah, I just don't think he's disciplined enough, or like you said about his age and stuff, he's just not experienced enough to play that type of player. It was different when we had Matic, Pogba, and him. Or, you know what I mean, before Bruno came, or when we had Bruno, McTominay and Matic, or, you know what I mean, a lot of games we had Bruno, Fred and McTominay. But I think to play the job of Matic, he's just not ready to do. So, yeah, Fred, I think, can do that better than he can, but not as well as Matic. But I think 6 is fair. I think 6 is fair. Okay, let's go to Donny Van Der Beek. I'm going to give him, if he would have got the goal or an assist, I would have given him a 7. But I think a 6 is fair. But he did play well. I did like what he was doing. He could have ventured into the 7, but I think, would I give him a 7? No, I'd give him a 6. I'd give him a 6. I'd give him a 6 because, but then am I saying he's played worse than Matic then? See, this is where it gets a bit weird. Because I've got to keep it consistent. I'll give him a 7 then. I'll give him a 7 because just consistently picking up the right areas, linking up with Matic, nearly got himself a goal, arriving late, picking up the ball, decent shot from a tight angle. And just his all-round awareness. He just always makes himself available. He's always in the right place. Even if his touch might let him down because the move broke down or the final ball didn't quite reach the target, he's in the right channels all the time in the sequences of play. So, yeah, he just about scrapes a 7 from me.
Well, I was going to give him an 8 because I was really impressed.
Go with the 8. Go with the 8, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think when a lot of people on reaction on social media, when the lineups were announced, the 3 behind Igalo were causing a bit of dismay from a lot of fans. People weren't too pleased to see that. But I think when you come up against this type of team, I mean, Ole didn't really have a choice. He was always going to play this lot because they needed minutes. But when you come up against a team that's likely to play deep, players like Lingard, Van Der Beek and Mata that can play those combinations, that interplay, every time they get into positions, they force the defenders to make a decision. And if they go with the runner, then there's space for someone else. If they don't go with the runner, then obviously the runner's in space themselves. And we said on the Sunday show that Ole needs to sort of have a game plan, have an idea. And when you're breaking down a deep block, often you want players who can play interplay because it forces decisions from the defenders. You get them to make mistakes, sometimes not a mistake, but a gap opens up anyway. And by having those players in the team today, do that, especially Van Der Beek. He was always in the right channels, and Lingard and Mata were good as well. I think they they combined really well together as the three behind the striker. And possibly, we'll come on to this later, but if Greenwood had started up front, I think that game would have been killed quite a lot quicker.
100%, yeah.
But yeah, still on Donny though, I think as well as his going forward, where he provided a brilliant link, he stayed in the number 10 role, so he was the link between the midfield and the attack, as you want him to be. For the vast majority of the game, he was within the width of the penalty area, which is very good. And when the ball was on the right-hand side, he'd go over to the right. When the ball was on the left, he'd go over to the left. A good link-up player in the right places, which is fine. But defensively was where I was really impressed with him. If you look at the goals we conceded in the Cup last year, against Chelsea and against Norwich, those goals that admittedly keepers Romero and De Gea both should have done better with, from outside the penalty area, they came about because there was a hell of a lot of space in front of the defence, especially in the double pivot. And the reason there was a lot of space was because Fred got dragged or Pogba got dragged out wide and no one filled in for him. And today, so many times I saw Van der Beek and Fred wide, Van der Beek sprinting back, making an effort and sitting in front of that defence with Matic, just filling that space, big extra body there, an extra presence. It's just intelligent. It's the right thing to do, and it really helped the team, I think. So,
and he's a number 10 today as well.
Yeah, exactly. So his defensive work rate was quite important. I mean, I think in this sort of system, it makes sense if you're going to leave your wingers and striker up the pitch. Then your number 10 does have to get back. But he's not just getting in being a place. He's getting to an intelligent position, covering for teammates, which I found quite impressive.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, there's me, I'm an iron on the 6 into the 7. I mean, I went on the higher end because, again, I was impressed with pretty much everything you just listed, but you've gone with an 8 there as well, which is a standout performer. It'd be interesting to see if anyone gets the same as that or higher as the man of the match. We'll get there. Okay, fair enough. So 8 from Cam and a 7 from me, pretty much the same. But yeah, Cam's gone with a higher one. Let's go to the front three now. Jesse Lingard.
I'll give him an 8.5. Because he was
Wait, no halves.
Okay, give him a 9 then. I said pretty much the first thing I said on the Sunday show was that in the current team, I'd like to give him the goal on the left because he can play interplay. Rashford maybe wasn't playing quite so well. And yeah, as I said just a minute, the combinations were exactly what we needed today. And Lingard's bright as Ole's game, making quick, short passes. He's very good at interpreting space, I guess, being in the right place, seeing how things are going to develop, playing one-touch, two-touch football, which is exactly what we need. And I think he was bright, he was good, and if Greenwood was playing, maybe he would have had an assist or two as well.
A 9 from Cam from Jesse. Wow, Cam's going in, a 9. Okay, I probably would give Jesse a 7 as well, to be fair, but that's because I've gone with that's my top mark sort of thing for the day. So yeah. Okay, fair enough. So I'll give Jesse a 7. I think he was bright. I think he was in the right places at the right time. He played intelligently, carried the ball well. And what I do like about Jesse when he's in that type of mood is as soon as he loses the ball, he's on the move. He very rarely stays static. Very, very. And it's a really, really simple concept of football. You learn it from when you're really young. Pass and move, pass and move. It's such a basic thing, but you don't realize how many players don't do it. And what happens when they don't do it, it really is detrimental. And when many players do it at the same time, it really gives the opposition something to think about. So, yeah, I like that. Yes, it's against Luton, but I think for him to get the upper echelon, he needed that shot on target or that final assist or that pass. I just think in the final third, couple of shots wide, not on target, but getting into good positions. But I like getting into good positions. That's fine. So, yeah, I'll go over 7. I'm going to go to Igalo, and he really disappointed me today. I just felt like he didn't look after the ball very well. He didn't look very mobile. He didn't look sharp at all. So I'm going to go over flat 5 for him.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I mean, on Lingard, Igalo, Mata, most of that team, to be honest, it's not really fair necessarily to judge the whole performance. I mean, obviously that's what we're doing, but bear in mind that it's their first game. So
100%, yeah.
Traded towards the end, like just right at the start, he dropped off. If they dropped off a bit, you can I think put down a little bit to fitness. But yeah, Igalo, as you said, just disappointed enough for me. Lost the ball far too easily. Had a couple of chances and didn't really do much with them. He made poor decisions. I think a couple of times he made selfish decisions to go and have a shot himself. I think from a striker, maybe you expect that, and maybe it's goal scoring instinct or whatever. But I think should have made different. Yeah, he was poor, so a 5 is fair enough.
Yeah, I agree. Apologies if you guys are struggling to see or hear Cam. I can hear him fine. Sometimes just a little bit laggy, but hopefully it's coming out okay for you guys at home. And hopefully at your end, Cam, you can still see yourself or hear me or see me, and it's all right. Yeah,
I can hear myself and stuff. It's fine, but I think sometimes when you speak, it's a little bit laggy for me. So
okay, yeah, I think it's just the opposite way around. But hopefully it's not too bad because we're 20 minutes in. I don't want to start again. And on the right-hand side, what did you make of who played there again? I completely forgot. Man of the match on TV. I thought he was right. What did you make of him?
Yeah, I give him a 7. I think he was good. Made some good interplay, good passes. The thing obviously disappointing is he's lost his pace a bit, and so he's not. Whereas the likes of Lingard and Van Der Beek, when they make a pass, they can just really burst into space, accelerate into some space that opens up. Mata isn't so able to do that. But his passing's still very good. His vision's still very good. And so, yeah, I think a 7's fair enough. He had a good game.
Yeah, I think he was really good. I think he's really positive. Showed his cleverness. You know, whenever you see Matt start on the right-hand side, you know he's not going to stay there. He's not a ringer. He will drift and naturally know where to be to find space, where to create space for others, and where to set others in. And I think he done that very well. Got man of the match on the TV. At the game, they gave him man of the match, and I can see why. He was consistently good, and obviously scored the penalty as well. Should have scored a second as well, actually. So yeah, I think a 7 is fair from him, and it'd be interesting because I think he should get more game time with the better players, because I think he can equally make things happen. I don't totally write him off. I know people say his legs are gone and all that, but you can't tell me Matt is not better than Pereira, not better than Dan James, not better than Lingard, like, you know, mentally in terms of how he uses the football, different class to all of those guys. So if he plays with Martial and he plays with Rashford and Bruno and Van Der Beek and Pogba and these players, something will happen. Maybe not every game and maybe not for 90 minutes, but I think he should play more in them games. The subs that came on, you got Mason, Rashford and Bruno. Bruno, I think a flat 5 because he just wasn't on very long and looks bright. Would you go with that?
Yeah, that's fair. He didn't really do enough.
Yeah. And obviously 2 goals apiece, a goal each apiece for Mason and Rashford. Rashford took his goal really well, looked bright when he come on. Wasn't on long, but did get a goal. So I'd give him a 6, maybe a 7. I think 6. To Mason and Rashford to seal off the game.
Well, I think for me, I give Mason a 7 just because he got goal and assist. But I think
he got an assist as well. Actually, in about 10 minutes. What am I talking about? Yeah, 7.
from Mason, I think his hold-up play for Rashford was very nice. And then his goal itself was good. Another chance, I think that he got a shot away, but it got saved well.
Yeah.
I think Greenwood was good, but yeah, they weren't on long enough to really get higher than that, I don't think.
Yeah, but actually, I do agree with that. Actually, Rashford, took his goal well, 6, but Greenwood was on for the same time, best part of 10 or to 12 minutes, and got an assist, 3 shots on target, and 1 goal. So you can't really say fairer than that. And then to finish off the video, Cam, what are you giving Ollie out of 10? That's what we do at the end. What are you giving him?
I think I'm just going to give him a flat 6. I think his management, there's nothing really special to say about it. He just basically set 11 players out on the pitch and made some subs at the end. I think maybe the subs were a little bit too late, but if he's got a game plan for that, then fair enough. I think what I would like to see going forward is a little bit more emphasis on selecting the team for the game plan that you want to execute. So if you're playing against a deep block, then maybe consider playing Lingard, playing Mata, playing Van Der Beek. Maybe not all 3 of them, maybe keep the first teamers, but just tailor a bit more to the game. Obviously, I think if you're playing against a big 6 team, you're counter-attacking, then Rashford, Dan James, Martial, obviously you've got to play all of them because they're rapid and there's a lot of space to exploit. But in the tricky games, I think it's a little bit silly to overlook Van Der Beek, Lingard and Mata. So going forward, keep an eye on that. But yeah, what are you saying with Ollie then?
6. You can't give him higher than a 6, and a 5. He still kept a clean sheet and won the game and got through to the next round. So I'd say 6. You can't, and it only really was a 6 because he sent on the big guns in the last 10 minutes because that game was looking, like we was going to have to see out a 1-0. Let's say, I predicted a tight 2-1, which it could have been in different ways, but it was tight. That second team didn't really light the world alight, did they? They didn't set the world alight. But I think the big guns coming on saw out the game, which gave, if you're looking at it and not looking at the context, it looks like it was a very, very comfortable day, which it was in parts, but the scoreline was a bit flattering considering how the game actually went. And like I said, that Dean Henderson moment, like we spoke about, could have changed everything. But yeah, Solskjaer got the win. So I'd say a 6. And just actually before we finish off, what do you think about Lingard potentially leaving and going to maybe Spurs?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty much the same story as on Sunday, I think. My opinion's not really changed. I think he should stay and keep him because when he plays on that left especially, he's a different option to Rashford. He's better at interplay, short, sharp passing. He's better at creating space between the lines, whereas Rashford's more of a direct threat. And when Rashford's not in form, then Lingard's a different option. And in some games, why not have the option? I think I'd rather get rid of Pereira at this point and keep Mata and Lingard for now.
Yeah, Pereira can't even make the bench for games like this, mate. I think the writing's on the wall for him.
Yeah,
no game time. Yeah, exactly. Listen, Cam, thanks for coming on. Late night show tonight, but big up yourself, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Cheers, Max.
No worries, man. I will see you Brighton game if you're about.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, mate. Nice one. Take care.
See you soon.
Guys, thanks for watching. Smash a like in the bottom right-hand corner and subscribe if you are new to the United Stand. Get your say in as well. Let us know if you agree or disagree with me and Cam's ratings. And to be fair, I'm not being biased, but I don't really think there's much to disagree with what me and Cam just said. Maybe by a number or so, but come on, guys. It's Luton Town and we got the job done. We are through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. We are out of here. Peace.